Alrighty, folks, happy Friday. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted. The same James Comey who presided over the FBI during the Clinton email mess, the Trump-Russia probe, and who was fired back in 2017, he is now facing felony charges. The indictment, false statements to Congress, and obstruction. That is serious stuff. And today we are going to break down what it means and why it matters. Welcome to Nelly Miranda. So here are the basics. A federal grand jury in Virginia says Comey lied under oath during his 2020 testimony. Specifically, prosecutors claim that he misled Congress about whether he personally authorized FBI officials to leak information anonymously to the media about ongoing investigations. If convicted, the charges could carry years in prison. And yes, obstruction of a congressional investigation is no small deal.
Former FBI director indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia. He's charged with 2 counts, false statements within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch, that's testimony before Congress, and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. The indictment states, and it's only 2 pages long, that Comey willfully and knowingly, that's the intent standard, made a materially false, fictitious, and fraudulent statement in a matter within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch of the government of the United States by falsely stating to a U.S. senator during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing that he had not authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports. That was regarding an FBI investigation.
There you have it, folks. I think accountability is coming. Let's see how far this goes. Listen to what Congresswoman Anna Luna had to say about it. She raised a strong point saying that Republicans are the majority and it is time to act like it and back the president. Watch.
Congresswoman, this is big news. Many of us expected it. I think it's long overdue. But nevertheless, a lot of your colleagues tonight are saying, see, now Trump's weaponizing the Justice Department. You're doing what you accused others of. Your response?
Laura, we've had the opportunity for so long to hold these people accountable, and Congress could have held him accountable, and they chose not to. So I'm glad that the Department of Justice has the backbone to actually bring a 5-year charge, potentially if he's charged with the 18 U.S. Code 1621. I think that that's a statute for perjury. What he did was wrong, and I'd argue that what he did is largely also responsible for breaking ties that we have with foreign governments. So this guy's a crook. He's a criminal. He belongs in prison. I will firmly back the administration, and it's time that Congress stop talking about it and actually do it. We're in the majority. We need to act like it and back up the president.
That's exactly right. Now, I know some of us may feel like right wing, left wing, same damn bird. And it's true, some things never change regardless of who is in power. But the powers that be will continue to be just that. But I think we can all agree that we'd rather be under Republican leadership versus Democrat leadership. But here's Comey's 2020 Senate Judiciary testimony.
Mr. Comey, you testified earlier today that you have concerns whenever the FBI doesn't operate in a, quote, competent and honest way. In your judgment, was the way that the FBI handled the Russia investigation, the surveillance of the Trump campaign, the Carter Page FISA application, the Michael Flynn investigation, was that handled in a competent and honest way?
First, Senator Cruz, there was no, to my knowledge, surveillance of the Trump campaign. I think the overall investigation of the Russian interference and whether Americans were associated with it was conducted in an honest, competent, independent way.
Okay. So, Mr. Comey, you're saying it's competent and honest. I assume you've read the Horowitz Inspector General report, which found 17 significant errors or omissions in the Carter Page FISA application. So, in your view, 17 mistakes lying to the court is competent and honest?
Well, I've read the report. I don't believe he concluded there were lies to the court, but there are significant and important failings in the way in which the Carter Page FISA was prepared and renewed.
When Comey is asked about his lawyer fraudulently altering an email in their favor, he first says Ted Cruz didn't provide an accurate summary of the findings. Watch.
All right, Mr. Comey, let's go directly to lies. The Inspector General report concluded that Mr. Klein Smith, an attorney who worked for you in the FBI, deliberately altered an email. He had emailed the CIA to ask if Carter Page was a source. The CIA came back and said, yes, he was a source. And Mr. Klein Smith, your lawyer, altered that email to add the words "not a source," to make the email say precisely the opposite of what the CIA said, and that fraudulent document was then used as a basis for a fraudulent submission to the FISA court. You believe that is honest and competent, Mr. Comey?
I don't believe you've offered an accurate summary of the Horowitz's findings.
Mr. Comey, I have the report right in front of me. Page 254 describes how the lawyer, specifically the words "and not a source," had been inserted in the response, directly reversing what the CIA says. Was it practice in your FBI to fraudulently alter evidence that you submit to federal courts?
It was not the practice in the FBI to fraudulently alter anything as presented to federal courts.
Now, let's pause because it appears to me he's lying, and clearly the jury agrees. The law he's accused of breaking is what's known as 18 U.S. Code 1001. That's the false statement statute. It basically says if you knowingly lie to federal officials, including Congress, that's a crime. Simple as that. This is the same law that's been used to convict everyday people for far less. Accountability matters. No one should be above the law, whether they're running a small business or running the FBI. We want blind justice, equal application of the law. If Comey lied, which it appears he did, allegedly, he should pay the price. But lo and behold, Mr. James Comey posted a video on his Instagram claiming his innocence. Watch.
It appears as though James Comey has responded to this indictment on Instagram. This was just posted. Take a look.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump, but we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid, and I hope you're not either. I hope instead you are engaged, you are paying attention, and you will vote like your beloved country depends upon it, which it does. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial.
Yeah, so he's ready for a trial, and I'm ready to see how this plays out because obviously the prosecutors and jury got the facts wrong. By the way, minutes after the indictment, his son-in-law, Assistant U.S. Attorney Troy Edwards, abruptly resigned from the Eastern District of Virginia. He sent a one-sentence resignation letter saying he stepped down to uphold my oath to the Constitution and the country. Well, alrighty then. What do you guys think? Is this accountability finally catching up with James Comey, or is it just politics as usual? A DOJ being used as a hammer against enemies? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please make sure you like and subscribe to support the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.